Nigerians. My name is Tony Mwese. I'm reading prepared remarks. Today is March 18, 2024, ahead of tomorrow, March 19, 2024, when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is supposed to be in court again one more time. And so here are our prepared remarks. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men were created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, among which is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been detained illegally by the Nigerian state for no reason, no lawful reason. He has not committed any crime, either in Nigeria or abroad. If any crime can be attributed to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, it is a crime of self-determination, seeking self-determination for his own people. Self-determination is a human right. It is not a crime. If anything, the Nigerian state has committed the most heinous of crimes by attacking Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in his home with the Nigerian military in Operation Python Dance. In addition to that, Chief Sunday Igboho was also assaulted with the Nigerian military in his home at 2 o'clock in the morning by a soldier the Nigerian state has terrorized the citizens she's supposed to protect. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should not be in the dock. The Nigerian government should be cuffed, read her rights, and brought before a jury. The Nigerian government should be in the dock. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not the only one calling for self-determination. Sunday Igboho did call for self-determination and has been released. Sowore also did call for self-determination, has been released. Indeed, Sowore called for revolution. So why then is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu being detained? I would remind Nigerians that injustice to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is injustice to you also. Today it is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but tomorrow it could be you. That is why we are appealing to all Nigerians to demand the immediate and unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We commend the leader of the Yoruba self-determination movement, Chief Sunday Igboho, for expressing his solidarity with the common heritage of mankind by demanding for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We celebrate Sunday Igboho. He is a hero indeed. It is saddening that MNK's human rights have been consistently violated through his continuous detention after his kidnap and torture in a foreign land. We want to remind those who tortured and kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and still continue to torture him to always bear in mind that a torturer is an enemy of mankind, just like slave dealers or keepers before him. A torturer is an enemy of mankind. This is according to the landmark case in the United States and international law. We of the Igbo Global Network duly hold the firm view that the fruit of the poisonous tree that underlies the outcome of kidnapping and torture of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu cannot in any way be consistent with the normative component of universal justice. Cannot be. Thus, the UN Working Group and other voices of reason rightly demanded for his release. As the continuous detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu attests to the consistent pattern of violation of core human rights, especially the right to self-determination, which is the foundation of other interdependent indivisible human rights against Igbo. The importance of this particular right is such that its deprivation is equal to confinement into a slave plantation. That's what Nigeria has become. A slave plantation its confinement is equal to a slave plantation, slavery, incident of it, or the badge of it. That's what Nigeria has become. Therefore, the Igbo Global Network vehemently demand for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu tomorrow, March 19, 2024, in order to stop what seems to be the watering of the fruits of the poisonous tree and the perversion of the universal justice that underlies the Nuremberg jurisprudence and foundational charter of the United Nations. The consequence of failure to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will lead to the exercise of our right to freedom of expression and protest through the following manner. Number one, mounting campaigns for all Igbo politicians and lovers of freedom to walk out of National Assembly in protest. It's the only fair thing to do. And a call for all Nigerian youth to occupy National Assembly in protest, arousing the consciousness of all those confined in the exonym Nigeria to know that not releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu reinforces that we are all slaves whose right to freedom, dignity, and security of person, socioeconomic, and self-determination can be trampled upon at any time. All of us are effectively slaves. That's what it means. By virtue of this consistent pattern of grotesque violation of human rights, it will appear that the government has also reinforced Nigeria to be, yes, a slave plantation, thereby rendering the politicians to be the violent proxies of the slave masters in their different pyramidal structures, while all Nigerians are slaves or they are mere obliging shells. More especially in the light of the wise assertion by the jurist Sir Davis in his analysis of the 19th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America, which states that any group or community who are deprived of their right to self-determination is equal to slavery, incident of it or batch of it. Any group or community who are deprived of their right to self-determination are equal to slaves. That's what Sir Davis wrote. Thus, once more, we of Igbo Global Network reiterate that we want you to also consider that the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will send a positive signal to the community of mankind that you are aligning with their common, and that you are aligning with their common heritage instead of continuing on the path of enemies of progress, enemies of mankind, by sustaining gross violations of human rights. Releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu shows that this administration is different from the previous one. Thus, by differentiating yourself from the gross violation of human rights and the ethnic triumphalism that marked the entire Buhari's ostensible government, as evidenced by the kidnapping and continuous torture and detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Such appearance of state-sponsored crimes against humanity by the previous administration dehumanized not only Igbos and Yorubas by the invasion of the homes of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Chief Sunday Igboho, and also so many other Nigerians like in the Plateau State, etc. As it was also characterized by the use of the instrument of coercion, lawfare, deliberate governmental inactivity to perpetuate the killing of people from other ethnic nationalities in Middle Belt and violent takeover of their lands, change of their demographic compositions. Therefore, the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be a testimony that human beings will not continue to be told to familiarize themselves with such tragedy or be comfortable with the same body of Esau that represents death and dehumanization of our personhood, even though we may be hearing the voice of Jacob. We hereby once more affirm that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men were created equal and endowed by their Maker certain inalienable rights, among which is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We therefore, the Igbo nation, in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of Igbo, solemnly publish and declare that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is of right, ought to be free, and that he is absolved from all charges against the Nigerian state. He is absolved from all charges from the Nigerian state. And as a free and innocent man, he is entitled to all rights available to every Nigerian, including freedom of speech, association, and travel. By the way, I'm grateful to the Declaration of Independence by the United States government, where a lot of our reference has been taken today. So let me be clear: if we do not, with a loud voice, demand for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, then we're effectively slaves in Nigeria. That's what it means. If we do not, with a loud voice, if we all do not with our voice demand for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, then effectively, my friends, all of us in Nigeria are slaves. And finally, please listen to this poem by Pastor Martin Nomela, a German preacher. A very sad poem, but it will make the point. He said, first they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jew, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. And yes, my friends, you can guess what happened next. Then finally they came for me, and there was no one to speak for me. And finally they came for me, and there was no one to speak for me. My friends, it is time to use your voice. It is time to use your voice. It is time for you to call for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He's an innocent man. He has not committed any crime. He should and must be set free by the Nigerian government. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a free man. He's an innocent man. He should and ought to be set free tomorrow. Thank you very much.